Joyce struggled to come to terms with what had just happened. She had always believed in the power of love, and now it felt like her world was being shattered. She had pictured herself and Oscar starting a life together, raising their baby with love and joy. But now, everything was uncertain. Joyce felt lost and alone, as if her entire future was now uncertain. She couldn't imagine going through this pregnancy without Oscar by her side, and the thought of raising a child on her own was overwhelming. As she slowly made her way home, Joyce's mind was filled with a jumble of thoughts and emotions. She was hurt and confused, but she was also determined not to let this setback get the best of her. She would have to be strong for her baby and for herself. She would have to find a way to pick up the pieces and move forward, no matter how hard it may seem. Joyce finally reached her apartment, and as she opened the door, she felt a sense of comfort and security. She went straight to her bed, where she cried herself to sleep. The next morning, she woke up with a new determination to face the day ahead. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was ready to fight for her future, for herself and for her baby. And even though Oscar was no longer by her side, Joyce was ready to face the challenges ahead and build a life filled with love and happiness. Her gaze was fixed on one spot, unable to perceive anything else. Her mind was unwilling to accept what had transpired. She thought she was in a dream, a bad dream that would soon end and everything would be back to normal. Suddenly, a piercing cry broke through her thoughts. Joyce jolted to attention and raced towards the source of the shout. As she neared the boardwalk, she spotted some activity behind the trees. Approaching cautiously, she realized that a man was lying on the ground and 3 inebriated individuals were viciously kicking him. "Go back to your own country, you foreigner," they bellowed. "What are you doing here? Get out of here before we get angrier." Joyce came across a dangerous scene as she approached the area where she heard a scream. 3 ruffians were attacking a young man of foreign appearance, while the janitor was running around them and waving her arms, seemingly powerless. The sight of the pregnant woman, with a worried expression and brandishing a rake, caused the bullies to quickly back off. They grumbled and cursed as they scampered away. Joyce lowered the rake and approached the young man to assess his injuries. "Are you okay to speak?" she asked. The young man, breathing heavily, replied, "Yes, thank you. You saved me," Joyce replied. "Let me call for an ambulance." The young man declined and stated, "I'm fine. They didn't manage to hurt me too badly. You saved me." Joyce offered to help him stand up and said, "Come on, let's get you up and help you." Joyce's kindness towards the young man named James was a testament to her compassionate nature. Despite her own worries and problems, she was willing to help someone in need. Her offer to find him a job and let him stay at her apartment was an act of true selflessness. She even went out of her way to make sure he was comfortable and felt at home. The two of them quickly formed a bond, and Joyce's warm hospitality made all the difference in James's life. Their conversations and evenings together allowed them to share their stories, hopes, and dreams. Joyce found comfort in talking to someone who was going through similar struggles, while James was grateful for the support and kindness he received from Joyce. Their newfound friendship was a ray of light in an otherwise dark and uncertain world. As days passed, Joyce helped James find a job, and he moved into his own place. Despite their busy schedules, they remained in touch and continued to support each other. Joyce's decision to help James not only changed his life, but also impacted her own in a positive way. She found solace in her actions and the bond they formed, which helped her overcome her own struggles. In the end, Joyce's kindness and compassion not only saved James from harm, but it also brought her a newfound sense of purpose and happiness. Their friendship was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, a simple act of kindness can go a long way in bringing hope and happiness to those around us. "It's not easy, but it's worth it," James replied with a small smile. "My family means everything to me. I'll do anything to ensure their future." Joyce felt a strong connection with James, who had faced so many obstacles and yet remained positive and determined. She felt proud to be able to offer him a helping hand and make a difference in his life. The two of them spent the next few hours discussing their plans and reaching out to the organizations and people that could help. Joyce felt a sense of purpose and satisfaction, knowing that she was making a positive impact on someone's life. She was grateful for the opportunity to help someone in need, and inspired by James's courage and strength. The experience had changed her in ways she could never have imagined, and she felt grateful for the new friendship that had formed from a chance encounter on the boardwalk. Joyce and James's bond continued to grow as they went through life's ups and downs together. Joyce was grateful for James's support and companionship during her pregnancy and postpartum period. She appreciated his positive outlook and caring nature, and felt lucky to have met such a selfless person. Meanwhile, James was grateful for Joyce's help in finding him a job and a place to stay. He was happy to be able to send money back to his family, and was proud to be able to contribute in a meaningful way. The two became good friends, relying on each other for support and encouragement. As time went on, Joyce found success as a freelance graphic designer, and James moved up the ranks at the restaurant, eventually becoming a manager. They continued to live together, raising Alex as a family. Although Oscar was absent from their lives, Joyce and James learned to live happily without him, creating a new and loving family unit with Alex as the centerpiece. Despite the challenges they faced, they remained strong and determined, grateful for each other's presence in their lives. Despite all of the difficulty she faced, Joyce never lost hope. She was a determined mother who was willing to do whatever it takes to save her son. She sold her personal possessions, took on extra shifts at work, and even approached her friends for financial assistance. Joyce's bravery and determination touched the hearts of many, and she soon received the help she needed. The surgery was a success, and Alex's condition improved significantly. Though her journey was not easy, Joyce never lost sight of what was truly important. Her unwavering love and care for her son inspired those around her and helped her overcome the toughest of obstacles. From that day on, Joyce and Alex were inseparable. They faced the world together, and their bond only grew stronger with each passing day. Joyce's courage and determination was a testament to the power of a mother's love and the lengths one will go to protect their child. Joyce was stunned. She had never suspected that Oscar was capable of such a thing. All these years she had held on to hope that he would come back to her, but now she realized that he was not the person she thought he was. She thanked Mrs. Johnson for the information and left the house, trying to process the news. As she walked away, she realized that her past was finally behind her. Oscar would never be a part of her life again, and she needed to focus on the future, on making a better life for herself and her son. She would work hard to provide for Alex, and make sure he got the medical care he needed. From this moment on, she would be strong and face whatever challenges came her way, because that was what a mother did. Desperate and hopeless, Joyce felt as if she was drowning in a sea of despair. She couldn't bear the thought of losing her beloved grandson and the only family she had left. The burden of saving Alex's life was becoming too heavy to carry alone, but she refused to give up. She knew she had to keep fighting and find a way to save her grandson's life, no matter the cost. With a deep breath, Joyce mustered up her courage and set out to find a solution to her desperate situation, determined to save Alex and give him a chance at a healthy life. "Joyce, is that you? It's been a long time since I've seen you," the stranger said. Joyce tried to think of who it could be, but she couldn't remember. "It's me, James," the man said. Joyce felt proud of the young man and was grateful for the memories that had been shared. They reminisced about the past, and she felt grateful for this chance encounter. She realized that even though life had been tough, there had been some bright moments along the way. The visit from James lifted her spirits, and she felt hopeful again. Maybe things were looking up after all. James had reminded her of her strength, and that even in the darkest of moments, there is always a light shining through. Joyce was inspired to continue her fight to save her grandson Alex and make a better life for him and herself. James's words touched Joyce's heart. She was so grateful for having met this young man and for his kind and appreciative nature. As they continued to talk and share their stories, Joyce felt a sense of comfort and support that she hadn't experienced in a long time. James's presence and words reminded her of the goodness in people and gave her hope that there was still kindness in the world. She realized that sometimes the people who help us the most are those we least expect. In the end, Joyce and James exchanged contact information and promised to keep in touch. As she watched him leave, Joyce felt grateful for the renewed hope and inspiration that James had brought into her life. Joyce was moved by James's story and his gratitude. She realized that helping others can bring joy to both the giver and the receiver. She smiled warmly. "That's wonderful, James. I'm so proud of you. Your success is proof that kindness and bravery pay off in the end." She also expressed her desire to visit his restaurant with her son Alex, who was recovering well after his heart surgery. She wanted to see the place where James's hard work and bravery had led him to. James's face lit up with excitement, and he invited them to come over any time. Joyce felt happy and grateful for this unexpected encounter with James, and the reminder that there are still kind and compassionate people in the world. She left James's house feeling more hopeful about the future. Joyce looked up at James, shocked by his words. Tears welled up in her eyes once more, but this time they were tears of gratitude. She had never met someone as kind and selfless as James before. He was offering to help her without any expectations in return. Joyce took a deep breath and looked into James's eyes. "Yes, I have faith in you, James," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "I would be honored to have you in our lives. You and your family have already done so much for us. I can't thank you enough." James smiled, a warm and genuine smile, and took Joyce's hand. "I won't let you down," he said. "Together, we'll make sure Alex gets the best medical care and that you both have a better life." Joyce felt a glimmer of hope for the first time in a long time, and she knew that James was the person she could trust to help her through this difficult time. Joyce felt a weight lift off her shoulders as James took control. She couldn't believe her luck in finding such a caring and compassionate person. She quickly gathered her belongings and followed James to his spacious home. They made arrangements for Alex's surgery, and Joyce finally felt like she had someone in her corner. James's confidence and determination was a breath of fresh air after feeling lost and alone for so long. Joyce was grateful for his support, and she could feel her spirits lifting. She was excited for the future and the possibilities that lay ahead. With James by her side, she felt like anything was possible, and she was confident that her son would make a full recovery with the proper care and support. Joyce knew that she was finally in good hands, and that she would never have to worry again.